Haha. I just watched Wizard of Oz yesterday. I had to rewatch it. There will be a full review of the rest of the Hooptober movies that I've watched.
Yes! That's awesome!
Will I tell you more right now? No, I won't. I just will tell you this much. I hate musicals. And for me to have watched Wizard of Oz, it was a feat. And I'm happy that I'm through it. We're not here to talk about that because this is part 2 of Tubi Fall Halloween movies to watch for free. I think there are around 27 to 30 movies, not counting the bonus series I'm going to mention and the remakes of the originals. I'm slowly losing my mind. Which is perfect. I mean, we are nearing the end of October and me losing my mind fits the vibe. Welcome back to me screaming into the void. I hope you're doing well. And welcome to part 2 of Fall Halloween Horror Gems on Tubi. This time it's as Halloween-y as it can get. Witches, pumpkins, anthologies, demons, and gore. Everything you want when the nights get long and the jack-o'-lanterns start shedding their eerie light onto the suburban neighborhood streets. I found a couple of really awesome gems for you to enjoy the spooky season. Just like in my previous video, I have divided it up into 5 categories. This time the categories again have changed slightly because last time it was more fall centric and this time it's more Halloween-y. I've divided it up into monsters and witches, demons and curses, anthologies, slashers, stalkers, and walking corpses. And of course, to top it all off, horror Halloween vibes. Stay tuned because in the end, I will also mention 3 series for those who like to binge watch the entire day, just like me. Yes, I binged watched the entire Ed Gein monster series on Netflix. I know that in general, these monster series are very controversial. However, I did like how the series was made. I will not say more. I'm pretty sure that some people were angry at it because it was very graphic. However, there was one time where the character also stared into the camera a la Funny Games and was like, "Are you enjoying this?" I also liked a lot that they knitted into the story all the movies that were influenced by Ed Gein. So it was not entirely like the last Monsters. I'm going off on a tangent. First up, monsters and witches. When October fog rolls in and monsters lurk in the shadows, witches open their spellbooks and sharpen their ritual knives. This category is the beating black heart of Halloween. First up, Jennifer's Body from 2009. Directed by Karin Kusama, starring Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, Adam Brody, Kyle Gardner, and J.K. Simmons as a balding principal, one of my favorite characters in this movie. A high school cheerleader becomes possessed by a succubus and eats her male classmates. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's banned rituals turned demonic, teen hormones, and pure terror that collide into this wonderful tale of what happens when the wrong person gets possessed, and a song that will make you want to throw your TV out of the window. I hated that song so much. I still have it stuck in my head. I will find you. It was so bad. I hated it so much. Oh, but the band was so good and the story is amazing. And I'm a massive fan of this movie that was written by Diablo Cody. It was highly mismarketed to the wrong audience, which was insane. Also, one of the few movies that I found Megan Fox perfect in. The autumn vibe we have are pep rallies, bonfire smoke, bad decisions in Letterman jackets. Search tip, you will find it under comedy. By the way, I went through all of these movies on Tubi to check, first of all, that they're around, and second of all, that the categories were right. And funnily enough, all of them were also listed under horror. So good on Tubi. Fun fact, the title of this movie was inspired by the song by the same name that Courtney Love wrote for her band Hole. Next up, The Love Witch from 2016. Yes. It's on Tubi, and I'm so happy about that. It was directed, written, produced, and designed by Anna Biller. This is just like a love letter to the 60s pulp movies. It stars Samantha Robinson, Jean Keys, Laura Waddell. A modern witch uses love spells to get men to fall in love with her with deadly consequences. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's witchcraft candles and rituals and this beautiful, gorgeously messy mesmerizing witch that gets men to come to her house and then she kills them. The autumn vibe is velvet drapes, thorough motifs, and candlelit dens. Ship, you will find it under comedy or romance. It's an homage to 1960s Technicolor horror thriller aesthetics using stylized lighting, color, and design. So if you like movies that feel almost dreamlike, you will enjoy this movie. The Craft, 1996, directed by Andrew Fleming, starring Robin Tunney, Fairuza Balk, Neve Campbell, and Rachel True. 4 outcast teenage high school girls form a coven and dabble in spells, but too much power and an underdeveloped brain lead to dire consequences. And in my opinion, one of the most vicious witches out there, Nancy Down. That one scene where her feet just drag along the floor, gold. If you go to my very first video about Tubi, I do reveal the secret on how you can watch movies without the nasty ads that keep popping up like jump scares. Or ask me nicely in the comments and I will let you know. If you don't live in the USA or the UK, VPN works like a charm. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's bedroom spells, teenage angst, and too cool for school coven energy. Autumn vibe, goth school uniforms, candles, wind-blown leaves, and after-class rituals. Search tip, you will find it under fantasy and drama. Fun fact, to research her role, Fairuza Balk reportedly purchased and supported an occult shop called Panpipe's Magical Marketplace in Los Angeles. And that sparked a whole fleet of rumors where she had to clarify that she wasn't actually a practicing Wiccan. Next up, yes, I sneaked in a couple of found footage movies because I'm sick of repeating myself. For those who know, you know, and for those who don't, I like found footage movies. The Blair Witch Project from 1999, directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, starring Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, Joshua Leonard. It's about 3 filmmakers who vanish while filming the local myth of the Blair Witch in the Maryland woods. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's pure anxiety. A campfire horror in real time, ideal for chilly nights with the lights off. The autumn vibe it gives is rustling dead leaves, twig charms, and cold breath. Search tip, you will find it definitely under horror. Fun fact, the filming only took 8 days and this script was a 35-page outline. Nearly all the dialogue was improvised and some of the scares were kept from the cast. Like for example, that tent scene, the crew deliberately caused some real fear to trigger genuine reactions from the cast. I'm gonna rewatch it for Halloween for sure, just because sometimes I have so many movies I usually like to watch for Halloween that I never come to all of them. So every year I have a little bit of a different set of movies that I watch. Yes, I will share with you my top 13 favorites, even though they keep changing. This year I have The Monkey that is in that list. I like The Monkey. If you don't know why, check out my description somewhere. Next up, Fright Night, the classic and a remake from 1985 and 2011. The original directed by Tom Holland and the remake directed by Craig Gillespie. It's starring the original Chris Sarandon, William Ragsdale, and the remake Anton Yeltsin, Colin Farrell, and Imogen Poots. It's about a teen who discovers that his neighbor is a vampire, and the remake reimagines it in a neon-lit Las Vegas suburbia. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's a cozy suburban Halloween energy with fangs, 2 flavors of the same treat, autumn vibe, streetlights, capes, and mysterious figures in the night. Search tip, you will find the remake under action or comedy. The original movie makers did not like the remake because it lacked soul. This movie was Tom Holland's debut since he was pretty upset on how they handled his screenplays like The Class of 1984, Psycho 2, and Scream for Help. So he decided to take things into his own hands and make his own movie, which I completely understand. Next category, demons and curses. Every October, someone always opens the wrong door or reads from the wrong book. It's the season for cursed objects and demons that don't need an invitation to come in. If witches and monsters are autumn's beating black heart, curses are its rotting corpse. First up, Hellraiser, 1987. For those of you who love the Hellraiser franchise, all 3 sequels are also available on Tubi. It's directed by Clive Barker, starring Doug Bradley, Ashley Lawrence, Claire Higgins, and Sean Chapman. A puzzle box opens a gateway to Cenobites, demonic creatures who offer extremes of pleasure and pain. Why it's perfect for Halloween? Have you seen the costumes? When your Halloween mood board is candles, leather, and puzzle boxes, this movie will do it for you. The autumn vibe it gives is candlelit corridors, metal clangs, and rattling chains. Search tip, you will find it under thriller. Fun fact, the character's official credit was lead Cenobite, but as fans dubbed him Pinhead, which is a nickname, by the way, that Barker dislikes, the name stuck. The Exorcist 3, both the theatrical and the director's cut. I watched the director's cut yesterday. It's directed by William Peter Blatty and it's starring George C. Scott, Brad Dourif, Ed Flanders, and Jason Miller. 15 years after The Exorcist, a series of murders in Georgetown ties back to a supernatural force and the legacy of Father Karras. And a cop investigates the Gemini killer murders tied to these dark forces. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's dread and demons with one of horror's most terrifying monologues. Come for the corridor scare, stay for Brad Dourif melting your spine. Autumn vibe, rainy streets, hospital corridors, and midnight dread. Search tip, you will find it under mystery and thriller. Blatty originally shot a darker ending without the exorcism, more true to the source material Legion. The exorcism scene at the end was added by reshoots because the studio was upset that there wasn't any exorcism in the movie. I did watch the director's cut, and since it was stitched together with material that was thought to be lost in a fire, I think for people who like their movies to be homogeneous, you will not like this. However, if you're curious to know what was added, there is a lot more of Brad Dourif in it, and the ending and the beginning are different. I'm not going to say more because I don't want to spoil it for you. I prefer the ending here because it is way darker and Brad Dourif. The Cleansing Hour, 2019, directed by Damien Levesque, starring Ryan Guzman, Kyle Gallner, Alex Angeles, Daniel Hoffman-Gill. Two grifters live stream fake exorcisms until a real demon shows up and turns the show inside out. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's modern possession with found footage late night watch energy. The autumn vibe it gives is ring lights, studio smoke, and digital screens. Search tip, you will find it under thriller. Fun fact, the movie was adapted from Levesque's 2016 short film. Also, the demon Malphas referenced in the film is taken from the classical demonology texts. Ooh, next up, Evil Dead, 1981, directed by Sam Raimi, starring the great and awesome Bruce Campbell, Ellen Sandweiss, Betsy Baker, Hal Delrich, and Sarah Yark. 5 college students vacation in a remote cabin in the woods. After playing a recording of the incantation from the Necronomicon, Ash unleashes demonic spirits that possess the group one by one. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's Evil Dead. It has rustic cabin in the woods vibes, mud, splinters, and cellar trapdoors that had to literally be dug up and made from scratch because the cabin didn't have a cellar. I'm not joking. They dug up a hole and the actress just had to crawl into that hole. There is so many fun facts about this movie. I could talk about this movie for an hour, which I will not because we have to get through way more movies. The scenes in the basement were then shot in Rob Tappert's parents' farmhouse. Autumn vibe, creepy trees, creaking wood, and the Necronomicon. Search tip, this one is definitely only found under horror. Fun fact, the cabin itself has a very weird history since the man who built it died a week after its completion and the crew had to sleep in the cabin during shooting and burned the furniture to stay warm. Next up, Drag Me to Hell, 2009, also directed by Sam Raimi. Yes, I had to mention this because this is one of my absolute favorites. I usually like to watch this movie for my birthday because it's starring Alison Lohman, Justin Long, Lorna Raver, and Dilip Rao. A loan officer denies a plea for mortgage relief and inherits a curse. 3 days of torments before hell wants to claim her. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's this classic curse lore. You have this button, it is cursed, scares, you have an entire plethora of hauntings and clangings and shadows and just relentless escalation and visceral scares from an elderly woman that still gives me the creeps to this day. Autumn vibe, bank offices at dusk, torrential rains, and a curse button you can't quite shake. Search it, you will find it under indie. Fun fact, Alison Lohman performed most of her stunts, even the one where she gets thrashed around the room. Next up, Anthologies. Grab your candy bowl because like a bag of trick-or-treats, these movies have it all. Some sweet, some sour, some poisoned. Bite-sized horror stories. First up, Body Bags, 1993, directed by John Carpenter and Toby Hooper. It's starring John Carpenter, Tom Arnold, Robert Carradine, Stacy Keach, and Mark Hamill. A morgue attendant, played by Carpenter himself, introduces 3 twisted tales, a gas station stalker, a cursed hair transplant, and an eyeball with a killer past. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's pure 90s cable TV horror energy. Midnight TV mayhem made by 2 masters of horror just having fun. Autumn vibe, VHS glow, graveyard humor, and gas station neon glow in the dark. Search it, you will find it under comedy and sci-fi. Fun fact, this movie was originally shot as a TV pilot for a Showtime anthology series. When the show got scrapped, Carpenter and Hooper decided to turn it into a one-off Halloween special. It's like their gory little love letter to the EC comics. The ABCs of Death 1 and 2 from 2012 and 2014. These movies are international anthologies. 26 different directors, 1 per letter. The cast varies by each short. It is 26 horror microfilms, each segment tied to one of the letters of the alphabet and each a unique death. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's bite-sized horror you can binge between other movies like I would. The autumn vibe it gives is eerie experiments, red accents, and unsettling transitions. Search it, the first one you will find under comedy. Fun fact, there was even a wildcard contest for T is for Toilet that Lee Hardcastle won with a stop-motion short film about a killer bathroom fixture. VHS, the first one, the second one, 94, and Viral are all on Tubi. Known names that directed the shorts are Ty West, Radio Silence, David Bruckner, and Chloe Okuno. The cast is again a plethora of people. Each film presents a wraparound frame story with horror shorts from found VHS or later viral footage. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's found footage meets tape horror, analog scares, and haunted glitched visuals. The autumn vibe it gives is basement horror, static TV snow in the dead of night. Search it, the first one is found under indie. Fun fact, VHS, the first one, Amateur Night, the segment was later expanded into its own feature, Siren. Creepshow 2, 1987. Directed by Michael Garnick and the screenplay by George A. Romero. It's starring George Kennedy, Dorothy Lamour, Lois Killis, and Tom Savini. 3 horror short tales, a cursed wooden statue, a flesh-eating lake, and a sinister hitchhiker. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's classic anthology chills, blending camp and gore. The autumn vibe it gives is comic ink tones, dead wood, and swampy lakes. Search it, you will find this one under horror. Fun fact, during the filming of the Raft segment, actor Daniel Beer nearly suffered hypothermia. The water was so cold that his skin literally turned green. Tales of Halloween, 2015, directed by Lucky McGee, Neil Marshall, and more. You know Lucky McGee and Neil Marshall from All Cheerleaders Die. If you haven't watched that movie, I highly recommend. If you want to know why it's one of my favorite movies, check it out in the... It's starring Lynn Shay, Barry Bostwick, and Pollyanna McIntosh. 10 short horror stories all taking place on the same Halloween night in suburbia. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's a sampler of scares just like trick-or-treating all in one night. The autumn vibe it gives is jack-o'-lanterns, paper skeletons, and candy wrappers in the wind. Search it, you will find it under horror. Fun fact, the shorts all share a connective tissue. There is Easter egg crossovers between the segments that make it feel more like a haunted neighborhood. Next up, slashes, stalkers, and reanimated corpses. Enough folklore. Let's put on a mask and make some bad choices. When killers won't stay dead and corpses won't stay buried, you get gore, guts, and pure midnight madness. First up, Terrifier 2. Terrifier 1 is also on Tubi. I do not like 1 and 3. You can fight me on it if you want. I liked the second one because it had this fantastic dream sequence that I still like to this day. Yes, it was still very gory. Yes, it was still in your face. However, there was a lot of Halloween vibes going into it and it was way more enjoyable. The director, producer, producer and editor is Damien Leone, starring David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fulham, and Samantha Scafidi. After being resurrected, Art the Clown returns to Halloween night to hunt Sienna Shaw and her brother. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's set entirely on Halloween night, combining slasher and supernatural horror. The autumn vibe it gives is carnival lights, fake cobwebs, sticky floors, and eerie costumes. Search tip, this one is definitely found under horror. Fun fact, the actor David Howard Thornton has said he draws on physical comedy training to build Art's disturbing yet absurd presence. The haunted house scenes were shot in a real attraction. The Final Girls, 2015, directed by Todd Strauss-Schulzen. It's starring Thaisa Farmiga, Malin Ackerman, Nina Dobrev, Adam Devine, Alia Shawkat, and Thomas Middleditch. It's a group of teens that are sucked into an 80s slasher movie and must survive its bloody cliches to escape. This movie has so much heart. I'm so happy it's on Tubi. If you want to know more about it, I made a double feature on it. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's a heartfelt, funny, and surprisingly emotional twist on the final girl trope. It's perfect for horror fans who grew up on VHS marathons. The autumn vibe it gives is foggy campgrounds, synth glow, slasher nostalgia with a bittersweet edge. Search tip, you will find it under comedy. Fun fact, the scene when they first enter the movie after they get sucked into it by the cinema, the flowers you see, they are all fake. The director, I think it was the director or the producer, told the crew to just come up with something really colorful and in your face, and they decided to pretty much empty a fake flower shop and use those. And when the director came up on set and saw it, he first thought, oh, is this gonna work? And in fact, it does. When you watch the movie, it's so campy. I love it. Hush, 2016, directed by Mike Flanagan, starring Kate Siegel, John Gallagher Jr., Michael Trucco, and Samantha Sloyan. A deaf author living in a secluded home becomes the target of a masked killer. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's isolation, horror meeting creepy dread, less screaming, more suspense. The autumn vibe it gives is bare branches tapping, wilted leaves, and a cabin surrounded by the woods. Search tip, you will find it under thriller and indie. Fun fact, the movie keeps the dialogue to a minimum, using its visual storytelling and sound design to amplify terror. The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the original and the remake from 1976 and 2014, directed by Charles B. Pierce, and the remake by Alfonso Gomez Rejon. The original stars Ben Johnson, Andrew Prine, and Dawn Wells, and the remake stars Addison Timlin, Veronica Cartwright, Anthony Anderson, and Travis Tope. A hooded phantom killer terrorizes lovers' lanes and rural Texarkana in 1946. Decades after the Phantom Killer's crimes, in the remake, Texarkana is stalked again. It's a meta-sequel that acknowledges the 1976 original as a film within a film. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's real-life slasher lore meets modern meta-horror. The autumn vibe it gives is misty fields, quiet roads, white moon over dark trees, and drive-in screenings. Search tip, the first one is found under thriller and crime. Fun fact, the 1976 film claims the murders are true and that the killer still lurks Texarkana. This tagline led to threats of lawsuits from local officials, and the 2014 version treats the 1976 film as part of its world. The characters watch it, reference it, and inspire the new killer. Frankenhooker, 1990. I just watched this movie for October and it was so much fun. It's directed by Frank Hennelotter, who also directed Basket Case and Brain Damage, which are also on Tubi. It stars James Lawrence, Patty Mullen, Louisa Lasser, and Joanna Ritchie. A mad scientist resurrects his fiancée using parts harvested from sex workers. Horror meets camp. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's gleefully trashy and grotesque monster mash for late night watches. The autumn vibe it gives is flickering streetlights, neon lighted labs, and electric storms. Search tip, you will find it under comedy and science fiction. Fun fact, the lead actress Patty Mullen was a former Penthouse pet who was cast to heighten the camp factor. Annihilator leans into the over-the-top shock factors, going full exploitation mode. But if you've watched the ending, you know that he had a different agenda for this movie than just being exploitative. Reanimator, 1985, directed by Stuart Gordon. It stars Jeffrey Combs, Bruce Abbott, Barbara Crampton, and David Gale. A medical student discovers a serum that reanimates the dead, and chaos ensues. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's classic mad science horror with gore and dark humor. Autumn vibe, neon green glows in the dark, quiet morgue halls, and lab gear at twilight. Search tip, you will find it under science fiction and comedy. Fun fact, the glowing reagent effect was reportedly made with fluorescent materials from glow sticks, which is not exactly a healthy option, but hey, low budget horror. They did what they could with what they had. Scream 4, 2011, which is leaving soon, by the way. It's the last movie directed by Wes Craven. I checked, the other Screams are not on it. It stars Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Emma Roberts, and Hayden Panettiere. Sydney returns to Woodsboro for a book tour. Ghostface returns to Woodsboro to reboot the rules for a new generation. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's meta, witty, and even more stab-happy than the last three. Perfect blood energy for spooky season. The autumn vibe it gives is small town sidewalks, party lights, buzzing phones, and campy scares. Search tip, you will find it under horror. The film mirrors the original Scream in its structure, including horror trivia saves, and it features the franchise's highest body count. From all four of the Screams, this one is definitely the most violent one. The death scenes in the beginning are pretty up there. If you ignore the fact that in the first one there was the whole bowels thing and being hung thing. And now we get to the final section. Yay! Horror Halloween vibes. We're finally carving pumpkins with a steak knife. Pure October on film. Pumpkins, haunted attractions, cornfields, and costumes galore. First up, Coraline from 2009. Now I know if you look at the entire lineup, this is a little bit out there. It being a kids movie, but I do feel like that is one of the more creepy kids movies. It's directed by Henry Selick and starring Dakota Fanning, Terry Hatcher, Ian McShane, and Keith David. Coraline crawls through a door into the perfect family until its perfection reveals a sinister prize: button eyes and trapped souls. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It has a button-eyed boogie mom and sweater wetters stop motion, which equals, to me, to an October essential. Gothic fairy tale meets nightmare. Autumn vibe, knit sweaters, blue nights, and candlelit corridors. Search tip, it hides under kids and family and fantasy. Fun fact, Coraline was the first feature film shot entirely in stereoscopic 3D stop motion. Haunt, 2019, directed and written by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, starring Katie Stevens, Will Britton, and Lauren McLean. On Halloween night, friends enter a themed haunted house experience, but the performers inside are less fun and more deadly. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's haunted attraction terror in real time. Autumn vibe it gives is fog machines, uncanny masks, and metal doors slamming in the dark. Search tip, this one is definitely found only under horror. Fun fact, the film's haunted house designs were inspired by real extreme haunts where participants must sign waivers acknowledging possible injury. You know which ones we're talking about. I would never do something like that. I'm sorry. No touchy. Children of the Corn, 1984, directed by Fritz Kirsch, starring Linda Hamilton, Peter Horton, Courtney Gaines, and John Franklin. A young couple encounters a rural town where children worship a demon in the cornfields and slaughter all of the adults in town. Fun times. Nothing creepier than kids. Why it's perfect for Halloween, harvest, and cult rituals. Autumn vibe, rustling corn, empty roads, and church bells in the wind. Search tip, you will find it on the thriller. Fun fact, even though the corn that they used mostly for filming was real, polyurethane corn had been used for the more difficult action sequences just because real corn hurts so much more when you have it smashing in your face. Pumpkinhead, 1988, directed by Stan Winston in his directorial debut, starring Lance Henriksen and Jeff East. A grieving father summons a demon of vengeance from the woods and unleashes a curse on everyone involved. Why it's perfect for Halloween: there is a literal witch called Haggis that lives in a cabin in the woods, and a demon of vengeance with a pumpkin head. It's a quintessential October creature feature revenge tale. The autumn vibe it gives is foggy woods at nights and desolate farmhouses, so it should definitely found under horror. Fun fact, Winston was better known as a legendary creature effect artist. He did the creature effects for Aliens, Predator, and Jurassic Park, just to name a few. Pumpkinhead became a cult classic that spawned a lot of sequels. I watched a movie recently and I must say it has a really nice vibe. However, nothing much happens, but I don't mind that because of the set design and the creature feature. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, 2019. Yes, I mentioned it previously in my first or second Tubi marathon. It's directed by Andre Overdahl and produced by Guillermo del Toro, starring Zoe Colletti, Michael Garza, Gabriel Rush, and Dean Norris. On Halloween 1968, a group of teens discover a cursed book in a haunted house. Its stories start to write themselves, and each one comes true. Why it's perfect for Halloween: the nostalgia of late autumn ghost stories turned into living nightmares is perfect for fireside scares. The autumn vibe it gives is red corridors, fallen leaves on small town streets, and flickering jack-o'-lanterns. Search tip, you will find it under horror. Fun fact, many of the creature designs are faithfully recreated from Stephen Gammell's famous illustrations from the original book series, including Harold the Scarecrow and the Pale Lady, both realized with practical effects. I, in general, love Overdahl's work. He did Troll Hunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe, both fantastic works. The Old Dark House, 1932, directed by James Whale, who also directed Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. It's starring the amazing Boris Karloff, Gloria Stewart, Charles Lawton, and Melvyn Douglas. Stranded travelers seek refuge in a sinister mansion during a storm and discover its dark inhabitants. Why it's perfect for Halloween: it has got classic haunted house atmosphere, gothic lighting, and a perfect cast. Autumn vibe, thunder, rain, creaking stairs, and flickering candlelight. Search tip, you will find it under comedy. Fun fact, The Old Dark House has long been regarded as a foundational haunted house film. Some prints were thought to be lost, later luckily found and restored. Bonus series to binge watch on Tubi if you have the time or just want to fall asleep to something. First up, South of Hell from 2015. It's a supernatural southern gothic horror series starring Meena Sovari as a demon hunter. It's about a woman who battles possession and demons while exorcising clients in Charleston. Why it's perfect for Halloween: it's got haunted mansions, cursed churches, and southern gothic folklore. The autumn vibe it gives is Spanish moss, flickering candles, and looming chapels. Search tip, you will find it under drama or thriller. Fun fact, this series has been executive produced by Eli Roth, who also directed Hostel and Cabin Fever. Next up, I had to mention this one. I'm pretty sure you know it's on it. Goosebumps from 1995 to 1998. Do I need to say what it's about? Sure, why not? It's a children's horror anthology TV series based on R.L. Stein's books. It varies by episode, different cast for each story. It's got a plethora of haunted masks, curses, ventriloquist dummies, and suburban nightmares. Why it's perfect for Halloween: it's Goosebumps. Kids retro spooky TV, perfect to fall asleep if you feel up for it. Autumn vibe it gives is cobwebs, dim streetlights, and haunted masks. Search tip, you will find this one under kids and family. Fun fact, the show once had its own rating, which was GB7, for being possibly too scary for kids who are younger than 7. Also, in the filming of The Haunted Mask, the actress Catherine Long chose to eat a real worm instead of a rubber one to make her reaction more realistic. Good for her, I guess. And the last one, my favorite, and I'm so happy it's on Tubi. If you do not know about this series, I highly recommend you watch it. It's Masters of Horror, which was made from 2005 to 2007. It's a horror anthology series for grown-ups by celebrated directors. I'm talking John Carpenter, Dario Argento, Takashi Miike, and other legends that direct each episode. It's standalone stories ranging from slashers to super supernatural dread. Why it's perfect for Halloween? It's like trick-or-treating for adults in a haunted neighborhood of horror masters. The autumn vibe it gives is cold nights, candlelit living rooms, and late night scares. Search tip definitely found under horror. Fun fact, Takashi Miike's imprint was considered too graphic to air on Showtime and was pulled from broadcast. It does exist though on DVD and on Tubi. That was part 2. Pure Halloween energy and all streaming free on Tubi. You will find the full list on the letterbox link in my description and in the pinned comment. Between part 1's Autumn Chills and this lineup of witches, demons, and slashers, you've got your October marathon set. Which one's your favorite Halloween rewatch? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to sacrifice the subscribe button to summon my screens. Bye!